Time has come to let some tears out with this full moon in Cancer on January 17th. It's also called Wolf Moon, so if you feel like howling at the moon, let yourself do it. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer. I do natal and predictive readings, and I share posts and horoscopes on Instagram. There are links down below if you'd like to check me out on Instagram or book a reading with me. I'm also currently offering 2022 personal horoscopes, so you can DM me on Instagram for that as well. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I put out videos every week, and I really appreciate your likes, comments, and subscriptions. So this full moon is a completion of a cycle that started on July 9th, 2021, and it brings change, it brings culmination of the efforts you were doing dependent on the position in your chart it is. It's happening on January 17th at 6:48 p.m. Eastern at 28 degrees Cancer. So if you have any placements, I would say from like 22 degrees until the end of Cancer, you may feel it even stronger. And one of the really important things that's happening here is that this full moon is opposing Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto has the ability to bring the darkness in us, to make us face the challenging events and challenging emotions. So this full moon also has a sense of deep reflection, realization, can bring catharsis and kind of like, you know, major change to your life. Of course, it would be important to look at the house that Cancer is in your chart. And we'll go into every sign in a second. But be aware that it's going to be a very emotional full moon. We are in Capricorn season, right? Like in Capricorn season, the new year starts, there's a sense of productivity and thinking about new things and like new beginnings in your life. And so you're called to step away from that productive and rational and future-oriented thinking and get in touch with your feelings. Maybe you've spent too much time analyzing things and you haven't had a chance to give yourself a hug or, you know, even process the emotions of the last year. This will be a lovely opportunity for face that, you know, like take a break from the rational sea goat and sit with a warm and cozy and emotional Cancer. Welcome the feelings. Allow yourself to cry if you need to cry. Could be very wonderful for therapy, doing therapy right around the time, journaling, meditation, exercise, and any kind of self-care. The more you're able to tap into spirituality or altruism or like charitable pursuits, the better you will feel, because this full moon is also trining Neptune. Kind of wide orb, but it still counts. So without further ado, let's talk about each rising sign. So if you are Aries rising, this full moon is happening in your 4th house. And Pluto is in the 10th. So you may feel quite emotional. You may feel melancholic at this time. Maybe something is happening with your family or you're talking to your parents and you're just, there's a sense of kind of like missing, you know, what's not there anymore, feeling nostalgic about the past. Could be a great opportunity for you to realize how your past has shaped you and how maybe you're still carrying some of the childhood experiences, childhood trauma with you, and perhaps it's a great time to release any of that. If you're feeling sad, if you're being reflective about your past, process it and let it go. Let go the old you that was maybe hurt and misunderstood and create a new you. Changes in the home are possible too if you're moving, if you're buying a home, if you're renovating, if your parents are going through some kind of cycle, maybe they've been dealing with a health issue or they've been looking for a home, you can also see a completion of those topics at this time. For Taurus rising, this full moon is happening in the 3rd house and it opposes Pluto in the 9th house. You can see changes to the lives of your siblings. What if one of your siblings is having a child and now you're becoming an aunt or an uncle? If you've been dealing with any conflict with your neighbors, if you've been involved in some kind of ideological battle. Maybe you believe one thing, they believe another thing, or even what's going on in the world with like the vaccines. Maybe you're fighting with a sibling about it, maybe you're fighting with a roommate about it. There's a chance to find compromise and perhaps move things to a more reasonable, rational land. There might be changes to your technology. Maybe your computer breaks down. It is Mercury retrograde. After all, it started on the 14th, so the 17th is already Mercury retrograde. There's a chance for some of you that maybe you're taking a journey or you're going on a trip somewhere at this time, the trip that maybe you started planning a while ago. And another possibility is like maybe if you thought of like starting a blog, maybe you start a blog. If you needed some kind of piece of technology for a while, maybe you buy that technology. And completing a course of study is a possibility with this full moon as well. For Gemini risings, this full moon is happening in the second house. So there's a couple of things. A financial project may come to completion. Maybe you receive a payment for something that you started working on way back when, in July. Maybe like an old client pays you back. Maybe you get a pay raise that you've applied for, or you get a job that you've applied for a while ago. There might also be a sense of reevaluating where you stand, who you are, thinking about your self-respect, and like maybe feeling emotional about parts of your life that are lost. Maybe you're feeling emotional about your childhood or some kind of like deeper experiences. There is a chance, of course, like Pluto is in the 8th house, right? Like, and Pluto in the 8th house can even make you deal with issues of like death. It doesn't have to be literal death as like someone passing away, but it could also be more metaphorical. Like maybe an old part of you died, or the old version of yourself doesn't exist anymore, and you can use this opportunity with the full moon in Cancer to celebrate and to congratulate yourself on surviving and going through a lot of tough things in the last couple of years and coming out of it, and like cherishing the relationships and people in your life that are in your life and support you. For Cancer risings, this has the power to be extra emotional because it's happening in your first house. So there's a lot of focus on you, some kind of personal project maybe coming to a completion. Maybe you started working out and now you finally see the results. Maybe you've committed to taking more breaks and take better care of yourself. This could be a great opportunity to revise that and see, are you happy with the amount of time you're dedicating to yourself? How can you improve your self-care? How can you let go of bad habits? And it's also quite likely that at this time you will be releasing unhealthy relationship dynamics, right? Like Venus is still retrograde in your 7th house of relationships. Figuring out what you want romantically, figuring out the person you want to be next to you. And I think this full moon is very much, there's been a lot of focus on other people. Now it's your opportunity to look within and ask yourself, are you happy with who you are? And can you do more things to love yourself more? For Leo risings, this full moon is happening in your 12th house, and it's opposing Sun and Pluto in the 6th house. I wonder if you've been working too much. I wonder if you feel exhausted and drained, and this full moon might represent, it might be tricky, it might be very emotional, kind of like almost like a sense of, being super tired of investing a lot of energy into work, and maybe you choose to pull back and you choose to get some rest. This full moons in the 12th house are always lovely for introspection, reflection, spending time on your own, going into the woods, or just somewhere, like talking to your therapist, any kind of spiritual, focus on your spiritual life, because Capricorn is your 6th. There's like a lot of action in your 6th house, a lot of getting shit done, acting, moving around, like, have you forgotten to sleep enough? Like, have you forgotten to nurture your soul? So give yourself a chance to relax, practice spiritual things, practice therapy, journaling, meditation could be of great help at this time. For Virgo risings, this full moon is happening in the 11th house, and it's opposing Pluto in the 5th house. So full moon in the 11th may kind of make you nostalgic about your past friendships. Maybe you're missing a friend, maybe a friendship has ended recently, and you're trying to figure out whether you want to keep it going or if you want to let it go completely. There might be changes and completion of your dreams, like if you've been working on, starting a gallery, or you wanted to have like an art presentation or something. Maybe now you see a completion of that. Maybe a project you worked on together with a friend comes full circle. There might be changes to your dreams. Libra risings can experience a change in your professional sector because this full moon is happening in your 10th house, and it's opposing Pluto in the 4th. So Pluto in the 4th can bring up some issues surrounding home and family. Maybe you've been going through a lot of healing. Maybe you've been figuring out how your work is part of your family and how your work can be a source of your comfort. So this full moon has the power to bring, it's also, I think, asking you to celebrate your professional accomplishments and think about the future when it comes to your work. And think of it not only from a perspective of what you'd like to accomplish, but think of it from a perspective of emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. Are you happy with it? Would you like to make any changes? Would you like to, perhaps you've been too focused on getting things done that need to be done, but less focused on doing things that make you satisfied internally. And this could be a great opportunity to pivot. But make sure you're also acknowledging and feeling happy about all the things you've already done. For Scorpio risings, this full moon is happening in the 9th house, and it's opposing Sun and Pluto in the 3rd. Are you going on a trip? Are you completing education? Maybe you've been in school and now you're finally ready to even present your ideas to the world, speak publicly about your education, announce that you're now a teacher. If you're taking a trip, this is, maybe the trip was long time coming. Some kind of change to your beliefs is possible too, and changes to legal matters. Like if you've been involved in a legal dispute, there's a chance that that will come to a close as well. For Sagittarius rising, this full moon has the potential to bring release and letting go of certain fears. Maybe first you have to face your fears, or you have to sit with the darkness because it's happening in your 8th house and it's opposing Pluto in the 2nd house. It might deal with money. A friend is moving in with her boyfriend and she's never lived with someone before, and now it's kind of like, how do you blend together with this person? Like Pluto in the 2nd, it's your personal values, it's your personal money too. Like, how do you merge your finances with the other person's finances? The topics of sharing and giving can be quite significant for you. And of course, it's a completion of a cycle. So maybe you started therapy 6 months ago. Maybe you started talking about getting a loan or a mortgage together, and this is the time when you finally get a loan or a mortgage with your partner. Transforming painful experiences from the past or realizations in therapy are quite likely with this full moon too. So embrace the change, release the fears, face the fears, and you can come out of it a lot stronger. For Capricorn risings, this full moon is happening in your 7th house, and you're likely to experience some kind of change in your relationships, or changes to the life of your partner are possible too. Full moon is a completion of a cycle, right? Like, has your partner started looking for a new job? Maybe they find the new job. Have they been going through some kind of tough time, and now you may actually see them getting through it on the other side? If you started any kind of partnership, both romantic or business, 6 months ago, this might be the time where you make it official, or you let go of a partnership that is no longer satisfying. Allow yourself as I keep saying, allow yourself to feel the feelings, be open about your feelings with your partner. If something doesn't make you happy, you want to make sure you talk about it, because as a Capricorn rising, you may have that tendency to take control of things and be like, and present the front to the world that you have everything figured out. And if you feel like sometimes things are spiraling out of your control, it's okay to share and ask for help. For Aquarius risings, this full moon is happening in the sector of work in your 6th house, and it's opposing Pluto in the 12th house. So full moon in the 6th house can bring changes to your work dynamics, to your health, diet, exercise, and your daily routines. So maybe if there has been any health struggle that you've been going through, you may experience a change there. Maybe you're going through an emotional struggle. Maybe you've been working a lot, and the solution here for some of you is to let go of the work project, or let go of the work commitment, let go of a toxic professional relationship. Maybe you're involved in a scruffle with your colleague and you decide to, let that go. You really are called with this full moon to find balance between your mental health and your physical health, and certain changes may need to be made. You may complete a work project, you may deal with like I mentioned already, deal with a conflict with a colleague, or conflict at work, or just a sense of being super busy and not feeling satisfied. So allow yourself to relax, allow yourself to take a break if that is something that you need. Pisces rising are having a full moon in the sector of romance, creativity, and children. And there's changes to the lives of your children are possible. Maybe your child is starting a new school, and you're having to deal with that experience. Maybe they're enjoying it, but you're struggling a little bit with letting them go, or realizing that they're getting older. Feeling emotional romantically, maybe you're facing some kind of past, or thinking of a past relationship, facing a past trauma. Allow yourself to feel, keep saying that. Think, reminisce on the past, and try to look for ways to have more fun. Another possibility with this full moon is that you're actually letting go of something from the past. You're letting go of a past connection. You're admitting to yourself that it's over. You're completing a dating phase, right? Maybe you've been casual and now you become official. There's a lot of possibilities, and emotions don't have to be just negative. They can be positive, as well as you can expect a change when it comes to your creative projects. If you started a creative project, now might be the time when you see it come full circle. Have a great full moon. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. I said it 5 times, but it's an emotional time, and if you let it flow, if you don't block it, then there are more chances that it will come through, pass through you, make you stronger, and not stick around in a shape of something frustrating. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.